I'm going to turn this into this in 27 minutes or less. Will I finish in time? Or will I have to hit the turbo button? You can create along with me or just relax and watch. I'm Gina Murrow, the 27-minute artist. In my home state of Alaska, sunlight is precious in December. Today's reference photo was shot at high noon, and you can see how low the sun is above the horizon. We'll capture this scene using a surprising variety of pastel colors. Here are the supplies you'll need. All right, let's sled on down to the studio and have some fun. Let's start with the darks. That's always standard pastel procedure. I'm going to pick up this beautiful eggplant from, this is a Terry Ludwig. It's my favorite dark. And we're just going to put a light skeleton, very lightly, of where we want our trees. This is a nice little cottonwood here. But the star of the show is the black spruce that's in the sunlight. This picture was taken by my husband, David, in our neighborhood in Anchorage, Alaska. We were on a winter walk, it looks like, or he was. Don't know if I was. Connect your darks and just put in a suggestion of what you want where. I know this is a black spruce because that's what we have predominantly in Anchorage, and they're all shaped like this. And black spruce are kind of like, I don't know, they don't grow super evenly. They have lots of angles and knobby spots and that sort of thing. And this tree over here looks like it's an aspen or a birch, and you really can't see the trunk, so we're going to imagine a trunk in because it will make more sense. And we're not putting in every branch right now, just a few to say what's going on. The next thing we need to do is figure out where we want our horizon line, which in this case is the dark across the street. And I'm going to connect my darks. I want to connect them so that they make more sense. Our eye automatically does that. So when you're painting, if you can connect some of your darks and not just leave them standing out there like they're all by them lonesome, then you will make it make more sense. Your brain will make it make sense. Okay, let's take some of this warm cocoa brown. Looks just like cocoa. And put it on this, just a little bit on the side of the darks facing the sun, and make sure we connect that branch to the trunk. Don't want him waving out there by himself. We may put more of these little branches in later, but we'll save those for the end. This, we're going to say this is a birch tree, so I don't want too much brown in that. Birch trees tend to have a lot of white, but a touch of the brown where the spruce might be having some dead growth. Okay, go up, next level. We'll start with this. This is kind of a nice wine purple. It looks edible. I like the way it looks. And we're just gonna mark in mosaic-like squares, maybe the width of the square itself, cleaning if we need to, and trying not to do too much mixing at this point. A little bit down here. To me, the purple looks like a dark that's being hit by sun. So we'll get it down in the spruce tree. Maybe a touch up here. Because I want this tree to look different than the other trees. Now it's looking more like a cottonwood than a birch to me, but we'll see how that goes. Okay. Now we're going to take the blue and do the darker part of the snow. I'm going to put my glasses so I can aim this a little better. Again, I'm not mixing right now. I am just almost like a puzzle, like I'm putting together a puzzle. Think of it that way. We may go back and mix more in a minute, but I want to keep my colors really clean. And the best way to do that is not put too many colors on top of each other at this point. Let's make this part of the road come out. And then there's, we're going to say that there's a path right here. I'll put a chunk of snow and leaving room for the path to break down. And I'm going to use this color for the side, for the shadow of my spruce tree. We'll add more colors in, but let's start with this. Yeah, leaving some space here for the road to come through and turn around. Now I'm just using my reference picture as a inspiration. So if it's not exactly like the reference, we're fine. Take this lighter turquoise, sky blue color, and we're going to add just a little bit in the back, not too much of a straight line. Still snow, but where the snow is being hit by the sun. I'm filling in the little white marks inside the tree. There we go. Now I'm leaving this part of the road open on purpose. I have an idea, which you'll see in just a minute. Now, not each one of these marks doesn't have to be a square, but it can be just a short mark. This will give movement to this picture and be part of the technique that we're trying to do. The bottom of the path is going to be more of this turquoise and a little more straight, as if we walked on it. And we'll put more turquoise over here in the corner. Don't worry about the white spaces right now. We're going to do something with those and you'll have it all figured out. A little bit at the top where the sun is hitting that snow. Okay, and then with this lighter snow color, we might add a bit of snow in the branches, just a touch. We'll pretend it has not been a windy day, and when last time it snowed, it stayed in the trees. That works as long as you're consistent, okay? Okay, great. Now, before we move up into this, well, let's do a little bit more sky color. I'm going to add this color to my palette because it's a pale blue. We'll go ahead and go back to this light sky blue, snow blue, but with a lighter hand, we're going to put it away from the sun. Keep it clean. And I'm going to branch it out just a little bit more because I know from practicing this picture that blue can end up having a line straight down here, and then it won't look right. So we're gonna make sure we get a little of that all around. So you can cover up some of this, don't worry. Okay, so now we're going to go to the light in the sky. Let's work. Let me think that through a minute. I'm leaving out the power lines and I'm leaving out some of these smaller trees so that it just simplifies the picture. You'll have a much stronger picture if you do take out these details. When I first started painting, I would always try to put everything I was looking at in the picture, and it was just really busy. So it was complicated and it didn't work. These trees here are birch trees, and we are going to have some liberties with those birch trees. I'm making them a little taller than they are. Obviously that's really dark, but I'm going to take this lighter peachy color and go over the top a little bit along the edges and soften those trees out. Don't worry. Okay, now we're going to get to some of the really fun part. When you're doing this technique, you want to put your brights in before your lights. So before we get to the sun, we're going to do some of these really vibrant, wild colors. I'm going to start with this construction orange. And I'm not going to put too much in, but orange and blue are complementary colors, and so they'll just vibrate together. So I want to make sure I get some of that orange in near the blue, even if it's not in the picture. I'm just putting it in. I may tone that down in a minute, but for the moment, I need some vibrancy. Not too much. It's hard to stop. Believe me, it's hard to stop. Now take the pink, the hot pink, the fuchsia, and this is going to primarily be where the sun is hitting off of any of the purple branches. We're going to cover this up. So if you're thinking, I don't want orange and hot pink trees, have no fear. You won't. But we need these colors in now before we start adding in some of the lighter. Take the, I love this yellow, this bright yellow, and just make kind of a sunburst. When you get near the tree, just do little marks. Don't get too even with this. Go over that pink maybe. That was a little weird spot for that to be in. Let's get some down in here. Moving my arm, making my elbow go up sometimes, doing different mark making shapes. Can you fish that up for me? Sorry. And I'm going to take my lime green. I dropped my yellow, so I'm going to see if my husband can pick it up for me. This isn't lime green. This is like evergreen green. We're just going to put that a little bit in the tree to hint at the color. Because even in the winter in Alaska, you can, when the snow is like burying the spruce trees do look a little black, but if you look closely, you can see a touch of green. So we're just going to add that in there a bit. Thank you for the yellow. That's it on the, well, that's not quite it on the brights. Let's take this softer purple. And I'm going to use the softer purple to make snow on my branches that's in the shadow. Okay, only the ones in the shadow. So it might be a little bit short there. That's over in the sun. That could be in the shadow. Don't want it to be too much like piano keys, so let's connect those shadow shapes. And I think there was some good purple on where the snow turns down, where it's gonna, this is our little path. There's probably a occasional footprint in there. This is shadow, so I'm thinking shadows. I'm not thinking where it hits the sun. And I'm losing a little bit of what I'm trying to figure out to do, so I'm going to set that down. We'll come back to it. We're going to take this. This is a very pale yellow, a little bit muted, maybe like snow with a little bit of road dirt mixed in it, but the yellow light hitting it, and we're going to fill that part in where we left the holes in the blue on the road. And I'm letting some of the tan beige paper show through because it makes a great complement to this lighter color. Okay, got 13 minutes, so we probably better speed up a little bit. You could sit here and do this all day, making a mosaic of the colors. It's really fun. Let's take this lighter beige and just stick in a little bit there. I needed to pull that together. Let's do this sunshine here. So what I'm going to do is take a little, well, I've got a lot of yellow in there. Let's take this pinky white. This has got like the softest of baby pinks. And we're just going on this lower part, away from the main part. We're going to make sun rays, cleaning our pastel often, and trying not to, I'm not rubbing a lot. I am covering up all the yellow because I want it to do that blur look that we have in the picture. But I'm not going back and forth. I'm not working it that way. Okay, let's hit a little bit there. Definitely a little bit there. This is the road, remember, and we want to connect those pieces so that we don't want it to look like staccatos, okay? We want some connection so it makes sense to the viewer's eye. Now I'm not going to bring that into the path because that would have been shadowed by the other snow. This would also be good for some of these snow pieces that are in the sunlight. Okay, I'm watching the time. It's getting a little close. Okay, let's switch to a brighter white. I'm just going to work my way up the different light white things. Now, smaller circle this time. This has got a touch of yellow to it. It's kind of a lemony white. And yes, I covered up that orange on purpose because I don't want it to look like I have construction ribbon in my trees, okay? But I need the color underneath it to give it vibrancy. Yeah, it's coming. Okay, now we need to start tying things together. I'm going to take my very white, and that I am just going to make a star in the center. Go back to this yellowy. This is the one that had a little bit of snow dirt in it, and very lightly just marking where I think I have sunshine on my snow to kind of tie it together. I'm going over the top of it now. I'm not worrying about, I am blending now with my blend. Okay, let's go back to the lighter blue. And keeping my marks sharp, putting in some of the edges. Let's put a, what would you call it? A bunch of snow right there so that it makes more sense where it's happening there. And we'll take our off yellow for sunshine on snow. There we go. Now the other thing I'm seeing is this shadow is needing a little help. So let's go in with this warm purple. It's darker, but it's warm. And we're just going to lightly tie that together a little bit. Because this part of the tree is in shadow, I don't want a lot of white showing through, but where the sun might be coming through, it's great. At this point, you got to be careful not to start overworking your painting, because you will if you're not careful. Go back to the warm brown. Now we're going to go we're going to take some dark blue. This is a really dark blue. And using the lightest of touch, I'm just going to hint at where my spruce tree kind of disappeared. This blue is lighter than black, okay? But it still reads as very dark. So using the side of it, I'm just using, it's got kind of it broke, so I'm taking advantage of that. You could break yours. Don't be afraid to break your pastels. I want to make sure my spruce tree is connected enough it looks still like a spruce tree. So I'm just doing the branches that are sticking out from underneath the snow that aren't catching the light. So I'm doing the bottom of the branches. There, I like that. Okay, now let's deepen this dark back here, because I don't want, it's competing, it's too busy with this. So let's get these whites disappearing. Okay, you got 7 minutes and 45 seconds. Okay, this is where a painting can go south real fast. It's starting to look really good, but I'm starting to work on the details, and 9 times out of 10, it begins to go south. So connect your shapes. Okay, don't be afraid to connect your shapes. I lost my dark snow, my snow in the shadows, so I'm going to put that back. Connecting the shapes, see? Now this is too dark. So we're going to use this peach, this handy little peach, and over the top, making short little hash marks back and forth, like little X's. I'm going to tone that down. Okay, I might have toned it a little too much. So take my terracotta, just very lightly put some of the darks back in. So it looks like these are like more birch trees in the background, leafless birch trees. Again, they're not connecting, so I've got to connect them. There we go. Now that part, I want it to be soft, not busy, because let's take this purple. There we go. I want it to be soft, not busy, because the focus needs to be my sun rays. Okay. Now, as I'm looking at it, it's feeling a little. It's not doing what I want it to do. So at this point, when I'm playing, I usually quit and go have some tea, but can't quit. I have 5 more minutes to fix this. So we will fix it. I chose the dark blue instead of the brown there because I'm just trying to tie in the fact that there's sky. Now we'll use this purple to make it a tree again. Most of this would probably be under a matting anyway. There we go, calm it down a bit. Okay, now one thing I'm not liking is these white marks in here. So using different styles of mark making, I use that end of it, clean it off. I turn it and use a different point. Now I can use the actual point. Just try to change it up so that it reads differently in each one. I'm calming this part down. Getting my darks to all join together. Now, go back to the dark blue. 4 minutes. Yeah, we're gonna use the dark blue to put in some marks that just everything's looking really choppy. So now let's smooth that out. Let's see. So what I'm trying to do, what I'm thinking in my head is, why is it looking busy? Well, it's looking busy because some of the darks and some of the mediums are not connected. So I took my dark purple and did that. Now I'm taking the blue and fixing it with that. Now I'll go back with the lighter blue and just help some of those transitions between. You don't have to rub every edge, but by softening and changing the edges a little bit. Now you can see the road coming back out. And then I got my dirty fingers in the way. I don't like that there, so let's cover that up. Okay. That looks a little better. This snow is too bright, and that snow is there. So I love it because spruce trees make their branches go out kind of like a shovel, and then the snow lays on it, like grapes on a palm leaf or something, I guess. But it's a view that I've seen since my childhood in Alaska, and I love it. So it just makes me smile to make it do that. Connect my shapes, connect my shapes. So let's fix this here. 2 minutes to go. I don't think I'm going to need to turn the turbo button, but if I don't, I've always got that option. So one of the advantages to painting fast is you don't overwork it. So while I am tempted to continue poking at this, I really running close to maybe overworking it. What I'm catching is that I missed some parts of this tree, and we're gonna fix that real fast with 1 minute to go, 1 minute and a half. I'll take that half, thank you very much. Okay, that pink is kind of sticking out there, so let's go over it with a little bit lighter pink. I think I need to declare it done so I don't overwork it. It captures the feeling on a winter afternoon when the sun is going down and you look up and the sun hits the snow and refracts color everywhere. Voila! I present to you my neighborhood in Alaska. Stop, Gina. Stop, Gina. It's always the hardest part is stopping. But actually, I like it. I like it very much. It makes me think of home. Would you like to see a preview of our next episode? Keep watching. It's coming in just 40 seconds. But first, here are a few things you can do to help me keep the videos coming. Hit the subscribe button below and leave a comment while you're there. Share this video on your social media or share it with a friend. You can go to my website where you'll find more painting tips, and you can buy the paintings I've created in these episodes. You can also see my fine art originals that took me way more than 27 minutes to create. Book me as a guest artist for your next gathering or convention. I do live painting demos and paint-alongs for groups of every size, either in person or via Zoom. Next time on 27 Minute Artist, we'll use colored pencils and tinted paper to make this blooming cactus pop. This project is super easy and super fun. See you next time.